Content disclaimer: the views, comments, and opinions expressed by guest speakers or authors on this YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this channel's broadcasters and its sponsors. Parental guidance is advised. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teachers, scholarship, education, and research. For fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing.
This is King Simon. Remember, make sure you go to my website, kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com, or Linktree at King Simon the Numerovation. Get all 4 of my books, and of course, that's the Numerovation for Mental Stability. Numbers are simple, people are complicated. Numbers are simple, children's health is important, and no promotion is bad promotion. Just spell my name right. Make sure you get them now on all my links. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. Go now. It's the numerational session with King Simon. Text your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022. And get my books on Amazon now. Yes, family. What's up to the people? Oh my gosh, it's your brother King Simon in the mother flipping building. Y'all don't even understand. Oh man. Okay, good. We have a great show for y'all today. Y'all know what it is. Let me turn that down. Let me turn the music down because we not have no time for the foolishness. Yes. Today we got a great show with the one, the only Baba Phillip Valentine. That's right. Dr. Phillip Valentine coming in. And do remember, every Wednesday we have a show, myself and the beautiful Kerry-Ann Ingram. We have a show called Healing Vybez. And those that did not get to come on to the live webinar that I held this coming Saturday, the God Power Weekend, you still have a chance to purchase the 3-hour to 4-hour recorded webinar through PayPal or Cash App. And remember, please, you got to text me your email, whether through WhatsApp or whether regular phone, and you'll get to see this extraordinary breakdown of numbers and how to apply it for yourself. So big up to everybody that came on aboard with me this coming Saturday. And I'm actually still watching the God Power thing, and the God Power. Billy Carson and Dr. B. Series did a wonderful job, of course. Did a wonderful job. I had a great time up on there listening, watching, and they ain't finished yet. They usually finish. They're supposed to finish at 7:00, but he is winding down. I could tell that he's winding down, but it's all good. I'll be able to watch this over. And everybody that had any problems with it, please, you're gonna get the recording, and it will come, and you'll be able to watch it over and over again. You get the unlimited access to the recording, just like my webinar. You get unlimited access. Also, I got a special guest coming up with me, the one, the only Kerry-Ann Ingram is coming on right now. And make sure you go to her website for her spiritual energy healing and guide, because that's what she does. And of course, her website is www.kerryanningram.com, and her link tree is /Kerry-Ann Ingram. She's a special guest for Sunday, so let's welcome right here on the platform for Sunday, Kerry-Ann Ingram. What's up, Kerry?
Hello. How are you?
Lord have mercy. Hey, and we also broadcasting. I'm also broadcasting on Patreon. We're broadcasting on her channel also. This is unique because this is her first time meeting Dr. Phil Valentine on the air. So this is gonna be off the hizzle for shizzle. We're broadcasting on Twitter. We're broadcasting on Facebook, on her Facebook page and my Facebook, 2 of my Facebook pages. It is what it is, and also 2 of my YouTube channels. So I'm excited. I'm so excited. I just can't hide.
I'm actually not advertising on my Facebook today. I decided to try out Twitch.
You got Twitch?
Mm-hmm.
It's not Twink. It's not twerk. It's Twitch.
It's Twitch.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Wrong with Twitch. I gotta link up my Twitch too. I gotta hook up my Twitch. I gotta hook up my LinkedIn and all that kind of stuff. Dr. Valentine did call us and let us know that he's coming in. He's coming in a little late, but all is good. And I also got another surprise guest. I'm not even gonna mention who else is coming on as a surprise, because we ain't doing that with y'all today. Just want y'all to know we ain't doing it. So what's up, lady? How's Toronto, Canada doing?
It's okay. It's good. Okay, so as you know, I was cat sitting this weekend.
Yes.
And the first night was very shocking to my system. I was not okay. I woke up and I called my friend and I was like, you need to find somebody else. I can't do this. What is this? I didn't sleep. What is this? A kitten and a adolescent.
Oh,
but over the last 3 days, Simon, I love them so much.
Get out of round of applause. Love the cats. Love the cats.
Yeah, so I had to let them go today, and it was heartbreaking.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh. Now, ladies and gentlemen, she had a dog also. She has a cat. She's babysitting cats, cat sitting. And she's an animal lover. I could tell she's an animal lover just by her tears that be running when she thinks about something. But I told her, I said, when you break down the number to the word cat, and since I got the blackboard, we're gonna do the word. Why cat is such an important thing in people's life. Let me break down the word cat. 3, 1, 1, 2, 4. All right. In numerology, the word cat in the Chaldean system adds up to a number 8, which is a healing, but it's also a dark energy number.
I'm a number 8.
Yeah, and she's born on the 26th. Go find out. And of course, in the Pythagorean system, the word cat adds up to a number 6, which deals with family and balance and harmony. So the love for cats, I understand. I understand why cat. I'm a cat whisperer, because every time I go to places with cats, they come around me, sleep around me, all of that. And my life path is a number 8, mind you. And her and I are both Aquarius, and Aquarius shared the vibration of the number 8 before they found Uranus in the planetary alignment. So we still have that resonant energy with Saturn, which is connected to the 8. Cats are very deep, dark side, other side, shadow side energy.
And also as healers, yes, cats are the animals that we should have around us, because they protect us from the unseen world, from the spiritual any spiritual attack from the dark forces that are in the unseen realm. So
Yes.
when you are around cats, you'll see them just out of the blue, just stop and look.
Yep.
And they'll follow something that you can't see. That's them seeing entities from the other side. So it's great to have them around you as protectors of the spiritual realm. And dogs protect the physical realm. So
well, let's deal with the number of dog. Let's deal with the dog.
okay, it's gone backwards.
Because
I know that.
exactly, because dog and God is the same word. I tell people all the time, don't get it twisted. It's the same word. It just represents the higher level of man and the lower level of man.
Yes.
You understand that and understand. That's why we so quick to call each other a bitch or a dog and all that. Yeah, I ain't say the word.
Why? You can say the word because it's an actual word. Like we've just turned it into a derogatory term, but that's the name of a female dog for real. They are called bitches, just like pups are like baby dogs are called pups.
Exactly. So, of course, dog in the Chaldean system is 473, of course, and that adds up to the number 14, which deals with the adaptability of dogs.
Okay.
Cats. Remember, the cat is under the Chaldean system. It's a number 8. So cats are real stable. They're real stable. They're about doing their own thing. You can't be hard-headed. The 8 and the 6 are hard-headed numbers. I want to make sure people are clear with that. 8 and 6 in numerology are the earth numbers, so they're real grounded. They're hard-headed. But a dog is much more flexible than a cat. And of course, we see the same. Now we see a different number here because that adds up to a number 17. Which, dogs can be hard-headed also, but if you notice, because of it adding up to a number 8 in the Pythagorean system, I'm looking at the 17 because I've noticed throughout years of studying this whole thing is that it's connected to a legacy-leaving number of the number 17. You know how many people left their property and their stuff to their dogs in the past? Rich people.
No,
dogs have inherited. I want y'all to look.
I'm sorry. That's silly.
It is, but I'm not surprised because that number 17 is a legacy. Fifi and Chocho and Chewy, they get all their little things. They get all the little prizes. I mean, they get everything left to them, and a caretaker to watch over them until they die.
Right.
Look up how many rich people left their riches to their animals.
I'm good with not knowing that fact.
I used to pay attention to a lot of this when I was a child. So I used to wait a minute. Because remember, back in the day, we used to have those little fake dogs with the battery operated dogs.
Oh yeah.
And they used to walk. And those dogs didn't exist yet. Remember, those hybrid dogs that was not created yet.
Which hybrid dog?
Back at the little small ones. They wasn't.
Of course they were. They were in the 1900s and like the 1700s. They were lap dogs created for royalty. They were created as like accessories.
They're hybrid. They're not the original dogs.
No, absolutely. But they were created for that purpose.
Not in America. It wasn't here in America yet. It wasn't here in America. It's in England.
Right.
Right. It was over there. But it wasn't here in America. When I was young, I ain't seen none of them dogs. So I'm saying. I know women right now, friends of mine, that will get rid of their goddamn husband before they get rid of their dog. I've seen that. I've seen dogs and cats break up relationships. Something is going on. Something is going on.
Well, that makes sense to me. Why that would be, because if you're unhealed and you are getting love and attention from something that can't really share their hurt with you and they just share love, you're more gravitate to them rather than deal with a person-to-person relationship that you have to kind of work through. You got to work through your differences. So I find a lot of hurt people
Oprah.
Yeah, well, a lot of hurt people will choose their animal. Like I've heard this statement so many times. If I had to choose, I would get rid of people. People sucks and dogs are the best. And I'm like, dogs can't talk, or they're not talking to you because a friend of mine, we just had this discussion about dogs and animals talking,
Right.
or able to talk. But yeah, they're just giving you love because it's easy for them, and
Yes.
that's their true nature. So if you're unhealed and you're just looking for something to love you unconditionally without you loving yourself and giving that attention to yourself, then yeah, that's why they feel that way about their animals.
I've seen a lot of relationships get destroyed. I've heard about it. I've
Crazy.
read about it. And instead of bringing, it's just like, remember when we seen the movie Frankie Lyman, and he dropped the dog from one of his wives. He dropped the dog out the window by mistake,
Right,
because
right.
he was on drugs, but she went totally ballistic. So I can tell. And then I have a closer friend that actually would do that. I've seen it happen. I was like, oh my gosh. I said, wow, that's how deep this has gotten. I said, okay. But thanks everybody that's coming in. Please.
Hello,
We got my special guest, Kerry-Ann Ingram, in the building for this Sunday, because you know Wednesdays is our day, but Sunday is this is a special edition now. A special edition, especially after the God Power. And big up to Dr. B and my brother Billy Carson. They're on together right now answering questions on the God Power. I'm here watching it while I'm talking. That's it. I can multitask. I'm here doing what I got to do. I read lips, so what's so funny? I was taught this by a brother in the Nation of Islam back in the day, how to read lips.
Oh,
and
cool.
pick up. So that's why in the Nation.
Okay, let's test it. What am I saying?
Hold on. Calm down. You know, in the Nation, I didn't perfect it, but I was good at what when in security, when it came to security, when people were coming up and dealing with certain things.
Yeah.
That's why in the Nation, you'll notice people in the Nation will go like this when they're talking. They'll come over to you and just talk like this.
Okay.
They cover their mouth. They cover their mouth and talk to you. Dr. Khalid was one of those people that showed us how to do that. And then he used to always be very mindful of where you speak, cover your mouth, and do something like this while you're talking to somebody, because there's people out there that are very good at it. I'm not proficient, but I'm very good at catching words and body language, because in security, you had to make sure, just in case the attack was coming, you had to be able to be aware and alert for the body language of people and how they move also. So yeah, it's an interesting skill. I would love to. I should have gotten the books and stuff on it, but I do have profiling books and all that stuff. I like to dig deep. So you want me to understand you're Jamaican. Yo, I want it.
No, I don't speak
Jamaican. You knew what I was saying.
I speak Canadian.
See, because it comes with body language sometimes when people talk. People talk with that. In Jamaica, they're angry if they talking to you rough. They rough. They angry. So family. my cousin called the original Jamaicans the rebels of Africa. That's what they call them. Because we did come from a part where there was a lot of rebellions. Because according to John Henry Clark, I know I'm jumping on something else. According to John Henry Clark, Jamaicans had more rebellious wars on that island than Haiti. We was fighting even more, a lot more, over hundreds of them. And so they had to try to buck break us and get us. They had to get the Jamaicans, because we was crazy. And I can tell I can get that way right now. I know it's in the blood. So I'm very careful. So Agua, you all right?
Well, it's really complicated because of the different tribes that were taken and sent to the islands. So when I visited
Maroon?
I visited Elmina Castle and
Yes.
Cape Coast Castle. And they broke down how they were taken and how, what breeds were sent to which region. And the freedom fighters, like the really tough ones, were killed instantly. They were not. And the way they were killed was brutal. They were made to suffer. They were captured and put in a hole and in that hole, other decaying bodies were around them, so they knew they weren't going to get out. It's brutal. So yeah, we got to the island, and we somehow, the sunshine, the seawater, and that helped to awaken within us the warrior within, and we then took over.
Yes.
Rebelled.
And you know, and bless Bookman and the great Bookman that went over to Haiti to help out, to bring some of that ancient Orbia over there with some ancient, you know, a lot of historians are saying that, you know, Bookman was a Muslim, and I don't know per se if he was, because that's why they call him the man with the book, Bookman. That's what a historian in Brooklyn College said. Well-known historian, Haitian historian, actually, very known Haitian historian in Brooklyn. I forgot the guy's name. He came to me. We had deep conversations probably over 15 years ago at Starbucks, 15 or 10 years ago. But he was saying that's what he was. He brought, and we know a lot of that came over, a lot of Islamic influence. Brothers came over to the Caribbeans and all over the different islands. We know they was dropped off. A lot of the warrior classes of that time that had to battle with the Moorish guys that had to battle with the Crusades of the Templar. Don't get it twisted, people. The people called the Templar, the Knights Templar, were dangerous people. Very dangerous Christian crusaders, just like the Moors was very dangerous. But they set them up really to destroy the Moors, according to the history of Christians going against the Black Muslims or those brothers and sisters back in those days. But they did some, we have some powerful, from the different parts of Africa and the indigenous parts of the world, we have some powerful people in our bloodline if we really tap into their magic, not the religion, the magic of it. Because even the deeper Sufis of Islam have deeper magic than people think. I learned mirror magic in Sufism. While I was a Sufi, and I still consider myself a Sufi, but while I was in Sufi, I still remember practicing. I practiced it the other day, and sure enough, when I did the mirror magic, and it reminded me of my mission. It reminded me of my mission doing that mirror magic, because you start to see the universe through your eyes, and when you really do that. You ever did the mirror magic yourself, darling?
What are you talking? What's that?
Mirror magic is when you stare stare into the mirror and look deep in the eyes without blinking. Usually you have two.
Oh yeah,
candles.
I don't call it magic. I call it mirror work. Yeah, I do that with my clients. It's part of like trauma work.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow. So people do it for trauma. Yeah. Well, you know, it was one of the first African-American guy born connected to the number 8, Pascal Beverly Randolph, wrote a book about that too, the mirror magic, and that importance of looking into the soul and finding, and usually using that, what's that black stone?
Which one, tourmaline or shungite?
It starts with an O. It's a black stone. They make mirrors. They make mirrors out of it. It's black. They actually make obsidian. Yes, using the obsidian, very important stuff. Mirror, because they got a lot of mirrors out there made of.
So a scrying mirror they make out of obsidian.
Right. Mm-hmm. It's a scrying mirror, and people actually look in and do their magi work.
So a scrying mirror is basically a miniature portal. Are mirrors in and of itself? So this is a portal.
Yes, that's a portal.
It's a portal. So be mindful of your mirrors. Like pretty much all my mirrors are covered now that I fully know what's going on in these times. But a scrying mirror, it's black, completely black, shiny, made with that stone that King Simon was just talking about. And it's powerful. It is powerful. But back to Jamaica.
Somebody just said this.
We have to remember that they also had contact with the Arawaks.
Yes, Arawaks.
Arawaks were brutal. Like not brutal, like they were protecting their territory. So they were taking you know what?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Arawaks, the Caribs, the whole, and then we had my cousin and one of my cousins had the nerve to argue with me that Spain didn't have control over Jamaica. I said, that's not according to the history books. Spain did take over Jamaica for a certain amount of time, and then England came in. So this, she was arguing. She's an older cousin, so she wanted me to fall right in. And then I got into, and I left her alone. I didn't want to argue because I'm not into because she loves argue. I'm gonna say,
but that's why Jamaica have Spanish as their second language. Hello.
Duh. I mean, we lived in Spanish tone. De la Vega. How them know? And this lady talked about. She said, "You said Jamaican words." Like, no, the men you messed with. The one you messed with, probably.
No, it's a residual because it's not all. It's not all. A large majority of them.
She haven't
because they're unhealed. They're unhealed, and our culture teaches us, men and women, to be quiet. Keep by your lips. So if you're going through anything, don't talk about it. Just shut up and deal with it. And that creates more internal strife and unrest. And then they rebel in other ways. So, sister, I feel you.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna say she generalized. I'm not. You can't generalize.
Not all. It's not all.
It's like people saying American women and American men is this way and that way, and that's not the truth. I've grown up with them. It's not the truth. You can't generalize. That's why you don't. That's why Professor Kaba always said, "Don't speak in absolutes." That's absolute speaking. When my mother's a very nice person, my father was a very nice person. Very nice person. Did he have problems with women? Of course he had problems because he wasn't taught how to deal with women because his father left. But he understood the respect for his grandmother.
Where does that come from? That comes from, you said it before, buck breaking, slavery. That's a residual. It's in our, what we don't, like Brother Kaba talks about this often, like the ancestral trauma that sits in our actual DNA that we carry it forward.
All of us.
So that's why we need to heal. We need to heal. We need to heal. We need to heal, you guys.
That's right. Get that a round of applause. She says we need to heal. And every Wednesday we got Healing Vybez on Wednesday. That's what we do on Wednesdays. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do on Wednesdays. So, again, family, make sure y'all support the machine, man. PayPal.me/King Simon or Cash App. For the international people, you use PayPal, Cash App. Y'all can use, of course, this. And also, we'll be promoting Baba Phil Valentine's page. Hey, turn that down. Okay. All right, good. We'll be promoting Dr. Phil Valentine's PayPal. He only has PayPal. He does not have any Cash App. So KemetEarth@gmail.com. KemetEarth@gmail.com. That's Baba Phil Valentine's. I see him just come in the background, so we about to bring him on in a moment. And remember, he is one of the grandmaster and founder of the Metaphysics Underground, starting in New York. I've known him since the late 80s. And of course, you can contact him through 800-847-1291. His email is sanu777@gmail.com. And his PayPal is KemetEarth@gmail. Only friends and family. And do send it via friends and family. And do remember his websites. The Valentine's website is uksnow.org and ismhomeschool.org. That means they're teaching your children how to align themselves with their greatest self through the homeschool. So without further ado, I see my Baba in the mother flipping back, and I want to make sure we bring the Baba who used to cuss up live back in the day. He don't cuss too much nowadays. But we want to welcome the one, the only Baba Phil Valentine. What's up, Baba?
Greetings.
Greetings, beloved family. How are you all?
Wonderful, sir. Wonderful, my brother. And this is Kerry-Ann Ingram. She's really my co-host on Wednesday, but she wanted to be a part of this journey here on this Sunday.
Beautiful, very beautiful sister. She brightens up your entire podcast.
Yes, she does. Like many other sisters. Yes, she does. Get that a round of applause. Right? Phil still know how to talk to the women.
Oh yeah.
Hey, let me tell y'all, Phil got some stories. I got women coming to me and say, "Does that Phil Valentine? He was so charismatic. He was so."
You know what? It's true. I binged over the last 2 years. I binged on your older material. Yeah, powerful, very powerful, very, very powerful. But yeah, you were very charismatic, and you got so hyped and hot. I was like, yes,
I did. My work was my passion, and
yes,
my passion was my work.
yes.
At that time.
And that's what drew me to Baba Phil back in the day, and all the grace that came with him. That's what drew me back to Phil, because Phil, Phil turned it up. And that's what drew me to Dr. Khalid back in the day, because he turned it up back in the day. You know what I'm saying? And but Phil was like, let me tell you something, Kerry. Back in the day, in the 80s, Dr. Phil was like Richard Pryor in consciousness, or my man, what's his name? The other comedian, Fred Sanford, Red Fox.
Red Fox.
Yeah. But like, from watching your content, I understand the passion, because I can't imagine how challenging it must have been then, because now the times we're in, that's what you were telling us about. And people like to be so far ahead to see what was coming, and to have the people around you not as serious, to not fully get the understanding of where you're coming from, must have been so challenging.
I think the shouting was based in a little bit of frustration, because they weren't really getting it at that time. And I became so sometimes I became despondent, because what I saw happening at a very gradual level, though it was fast track for me, but very slow for everyone else. So here I was screaming to the top of my lungs. My hairline used to be here.
Yes, it was.
You remember?
Yes, sir.
And so at this particular time, it's good to see that young people now are picking up the torch and relighting it and putting it out there, because we went through some times when people were trying to hijack the underground platform where the truth was being told, and they put in all kinds of gimmicks instead of doing like Bobby, myself, Dr. Blair, Brother Khalid. We were straight shooters, right to the point. We didn't argue with one another. We didn't, go through any kind of debating with one another, because we were all in the same army, fighting the same enemy. We didn't have to fight each other.
And you know that somebody brought up something about back in the day, Kevin Jackson's event at the Gathering of the Masters, because Khalid really never debated with y'all back in the day. So why did it take, at that point, what happened that he wanted to do what he did that day, that him and Bobby went into something and got into something? What was that all about? Because you and him were still good friends.
Yeah, he and I was, he kind of put a dig at me when he was talking about my book, when I dealt with the wounded womb here.
I dealt
with the wounded womb.
Of course.
He said, well, what about the persecuted penis? And I said,
big up the Khalid. Yes, somebody should write that, the persecuted penis.
And I was telling him, I said, well, I'm working on that. It's called The Path of the Virtuous Man. And so, that book is coming. I have 7 books I'm working on. The book, if you open it up, you'll see that in the first part of the page, you'll see it says book number 4.
Yes.
If you go here, you'll see it says book number 4.
Yes.
And so the book number 1 I'm working on right now is I'm not sure if you can show my, can you show my
website?
Yeah, not my website, but my screen.
Oh yeah, when you put share screen, and then
okay, I'll do the share screen. Hang on, let me just open this up for you.
Yeah,
and I just want the people to know. Everybody says, "Well, you keep saying that you're going to be doing this and that," and
I know.
Where's the share screen at?
Look, I got 6 more books to write too. So
there you go. It says present at the bottom.
Present.
It says what?
Present at the bottom.
Oh, present. Okay, good enough. Oh, share screen. Thank you, sister.
Yeah, you see it?
No problem.
Yeah, and so what I was
as soon as I see it come up, I'll share it. I don't see it coming up.
Hang on a second. Let me see if I can get this. Can you see this?
Not yet. I think you gotta present or share it to me so I can see it come up behind me.
All right. Let me see if I can actually. Let me see if I'm doing what I'm right.
And everyone, like and share this out.
Also share this audio. Okay, I'm looking at everything. Choose what to share with.
Yeah. Choose what to share.
Okay.
Right.
I have to.
You have to click on it. What you're gonna share.
Okay, hang on. No, this is not what I want to do here. Join stream. Oh, okay.
Press it. Let me see if I get it coming up.
Share.
Okay,
this is my screen. Did you see my screen?
It's coming up right now. There you go.
Okay. All right. So let me just give you here. Okay. This is my book coming up. Can you see it? Am I scrolling?
No. You shared the other thing. You shared what the email I sent you.
Your email is showing.
Oh, the email is showing. Oh boy, I'm not good. Okay, so wait a minute. Let me go back to share.
All right, I'll remove that, and when you're ready, yeah.
Okay, so me and technology, you know.
Oh, that's okay. No, they change it every second. So take your time.
Okay.
I know your wife does technology.
Oh, right? She does. Yeah. She knows this back.
What's so funny, Phil? She born on the 4th, and 4 rules technology.
Well, there it is. There it is.
So there you go.
There it is. Got it. Of course, it would be like that. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. I'm gonna come up here. I'm lost now back into where I am. I need to go back to where I am in the StreamYard, right. Where you are. There you are. Okay, so now I have to go to present. And slides. I don't know about it's not slide. Is it slides?
Share screen.
Go to share screen on the bottom.
Share screen on the bottom. And it says here, share screen is easiest in 2 months. Screen share works for me. Don't show these tips again. No, share screen. Right. Okay. So now it doesn't give me what it is it doesn't give me the word. It only puts me into what's open.
Okay. So, go ahead. Sorry. Tell them. Explain.
I was just going to say minimize your email window. So minimize that screen and then leave your Word document. Leave that one as the only one open and then see.
Okay, hold on. Minimize.
She's a professional marketer, mind you. No.
Oh, go ahead now, girl. Love it. Okay, so now I have to minimize. Hang on a second. Let me get rid of this. Presentation, save into documents.
Be patient with us, family. Baba Phil wants to share screen with us. You know how it is. Come on now.
Oh, yeah, you know me. Okay, so select a tab to share.
There we go.
There you go. Which tab are you going to share now? That's what we want to need. That's
where I got to go to find out if
you see a book name. You see what you're labeled that as.
I see. The book is open. Do they put me? Let me see. Put me in the window. What about this? Share.
Okay, I see something coming up. That is it. That should be
it, right?
Is that it? Yeah. There you go. There you go.
Okay. These are some of the things. Just to give you a little idea. This is the opening pages. The mission is mastery. That's one of the sayings for our university.
That's right.
And all through my book, I have things like the dream of chaos is order. The nightmare of order is chaos. And then, certain little sayings that are there. And this is the name.
Woo! Here. Woo! Let's get that around applause.
Oh, that's powerful.
So what we're looking at is book number 1 that I was working on, that I stopped working on to do book number 4 because of the urgency of the moment, when sisters were coming with the fibroid tumors, the endometriosis, breast cancers, and so forth. In fact, that's how I met my wife. She had breast cancers in both breasts, and she was like 2 or 3 weeks away from a mastectomy and a lumpectomy, and in 45 days, both were gone. And she was healed again. And then she's now, her own book is getting ready to come out.
Yes.
And New Life from Near Death is her name of her book.
Yes.
And it's, the rise of the phoenix.
Yes, get that around of applause. Yes.
Yes. To let you see that their books, these are other books are coming in.
Exclusive, family. This is exclusive. He don't usually do this.
I don't do this. this is for family.
It's a family.
This is for family, and King Simon is family. So he's
you,
got
Bubba.
it. And these are the other names of the books. They're going to be modified, but if you see, book number 4 is The Wounded Womb.
Yes.
And book number 1 was the Book of the Earth. Book number 2 has to do with understanding the metaphysical secrets of life and the arcane sciences of health, healing, and biospiritual transcendence.
Ooh, powerful.
Yeah, this is going to be the quintessential metaphysical book on healing.
Yes.
And melanalysis, and this is dealing with melanin. Book 3, it's called The Protophysics of Consciousness, unlocking the metaphysical secrets of melanin. And of course, I'm going to be talking with Dr. Ann Brown, who wrote her own book.
Big up to Ann Brown.
Why Darkness Matter.
That's right. Ann Brown. Big up to Ann Brown, man.
Ann Brown, definitely. And book number 4 is called The Epicene Enigma, which is a dissertation on the metagenetic origins of androgyny and homosexuality.
Woo! Okay. Lord have mercy. My goodness.
Book number 6.
Dr. Val, as a matter of fact, Dr. Valentine, the topic today is, of course, being a man and a woman is an experience and not a job description, of course.
Yeah, there you go. So we're right on time with that. And of course, the Ebbers Unveiled, which is going to be speaking about the first book on medicine. Yes. And of course, book 7 is the book that I talked about with Khalid, which is The Path of the Hidden Light, which is undertaking the Odyssey of the Virtuous Way. And how to become the virtuous man, which is the second. Make
sure you shout Dr. Khalid out with that person.
Oh yeah. I'm going to definitely talk about him.
That'll be funny. I'll send it to his son when you're ready. His son Farrell. He would love that. He would love.
Oh yeah, he'll love it. Definitely. So you see, after here, doing my observations, and here's my thing to my Metaku Oyasin, all my relations. This is to our native brothers and sisters. And of course, this is here my study of alchemy, not to destroy but to construct, or rather to destroy by construction, to conquer error by the full presentation of the truth. So we're going. This is just lead ups, and this of course is to my beloved father, so and so, giving out shout outs to everyone. Of course, the shout outs are going to come to everybody. That page is going to be added in because I got like a ton of people to add for that. And of course, I go for since the book is called The Book of the Earth, I looked into the Bible for the Bible thumpers, and I found Job 12:7. Speak to the earth, and it will teach thee.
That's right. That's
okay?
right.
So there's little things here that go in that, this is from me, the author. And just to show you, I'll give you one part of the prologue when I deal with words. When I talk about words are the auditory threads of human perception, weaving together the conceptual infrastructures of a consciousness paradigm. As instruments of peace and harmony, they are the tonal seeds of consciousness reverberating through the tapestries of human intellect to become beacons of sound, guiding us to ever higher levels of awareness and enlightenment. This is the way that we're going to be speaking. We're going to put you at a college and a PhD level with what we're going to be dealing with. And the other part of it too, this is going to be a text. I'm reading it to a textbook.
Yes.
To deal with what it is we're dealing with here. And of course, this is to be, these are every place you see me with the yellowing is for me to do some work on this. But the last thing I want to know, I want to give this last thing before we close this part out to work in this. This is here. A lot of people are saying, well, what are you doing? Why are you writing books such as this? Well, my answer is that age-old pandemic ignorance. And this is to everyone so that perhaps they will, just support me in the spiritual world to give me time to start writing. This book is going to be over 1,000 pages. So I said, beloved, I too once belonged to naive flocks of sheeple, herded by the shepherds of socio-political, medical, and religious ignorance. I too once grazed on their toxic pastures of indoctrination with oblivious contentment, unaware that the more I consumed, the more disoriented and mentally weaker I became. Ignorance, as I now understand it, has always been a commodity of the unscrupulous, who relish in their ability to weaponize its presence into a corrupting force that they wield with sophisticated malice and forethought. For the parasitic elite, this commodity is managed as if it was a viable commercial crop, planted, watered, harvested, traded, and finally served up as a tempting feast that subtly poisons the unsuspected mind. Ignorance has always been promoted as a staple diet for the minds of melanated peoples throughout the flattened plain, who, after consuming it, have been left starved and depleted of their spiritual, intellectual, cultural, and overall collective autonomous sense of selves. However, a new dawn is breaking on the horizon of human potential, heralding in the frequencies of an impending consciousness transcendence, demolishing the citadels of manufactured ignorance and healing our collective humanity with the self-nurturing light of universal truth. I felt compelled to be a contributing factor in this auspicious process and humbly offer my Regenesis Chronicles to that end. There are, I am sure, millions just like myself who feel this wonderful sense of purpose, each of us a microcosmic cell within this collective embryo of light that was fathered by spirit and gestated by nature mother. All of us ordained to one day inherit the transcendent body of a new species of being, a new man being. This is why I bothered.
Ooh, man.
Woo,
Baba.
Where's my mic? I need to drop a mic. That was powerful. Okay, so where can people pre-order this? Because we need. No, I'm really serious. Do you have a pre-order link?
Well, I have not yet opened that up because I have now started supporting my wife's book.
Okay.
Her book is to come out first.
Yeah.
I'm still about a year away from completing this. I wish I could show you everything. This thing is going to blow away all and put more specific sophistications to what is now being come to the surface and is puzzling everyone. This is going to be the workbook that people are going to be looking at and underlying and tabbing and the whole 9 yards. It's going to be a metaphysical work, as you see. I'm bringing out the first book is going to talk about the metaphysics of racism, all of it. Going to break down how we fall into this particular category of what has happened to us as a people. And then, of course, I break down now, after I talk about the history of our people, after that, telling everything about what we are about, how we created Shaolin, the whole 9 yards. When the time comes, after book part 2, that's when I break into the deeper metaphysics, which, as you see, I'm still working on right now.
Man, Doug, it's gonna be woo! And you know, before we get into our subject, because people are really asking about the subject matter. But before we get into our subject, Baba, you know, those books, that what you just read, the way you read it, it definitely I see Audible. It should be an Audible.
Yes, I'm going to do it too. Yes.
Yes. If you're going to read it or you're going to have somebody else read it, I don't know how you're going to do it, but I was listening to, you know, they got a biography of Reverend Ike coming out.
Yes, I heard.
Yeah. And his son is reading the Audibles, and his son.
Oh,
Xavier,
no kidding.
Has a powerful voice. You've heard his voice. Xavier's powerful. So I heard his voice reading your book. I'm like, wait a minute. That voice was so penetrable. Like I was narrating a movie or like a documentary.
I've been recording too. I've been doing my recording as well. You know, I've been to recording too. So with the right voice, vocal matter, and doing this, it's going to be like 1,000 pages. This book itself was after 1,500 pages.
Believe me, I know, sir. I know. I can hit somebody upside the head with this one.
So I mean, you got an exclusive. You have the exclusive, brother.
You signed it for me in 2011.
Yes,
wow.
2011 you signed that for me. Yeah. Woo, man, people, y'all gotta share like Dr. Valentine is now in the mother flipping building.
So
go ahead. You want to say something? Go ahead, Rick, before we get into our subject.
Okay, good. Because this is something that has been in my consciousness burning for the day that I have contact with you. So with the whole flat earth, can we touch on the flat earth really briefly?
And that is not brief. You know, that is not brief.
Because so I completely abandoned the spherical. Like it just doesn't make sense. It never made sense. Abandoned that. Then
Indeed.
I started to dive into the whole flat earth. But now I am thinking, and I want to cross-reference this with you, that it feels more aligned that we're living in a toroidal field of energy that we consciously co-create. So is this plane an ever-changing plane that is vibratory based on our conscious thoughts? It's not like a physical rock that is just flat. It's a constantly changing plane, correct?
Well, it's a plane when you fall into the magnetic zone that we call second and third density, you leave a place where there is no density and you fall into a place where there is levels of densities. So as you go into what we call the third density construct, there are certain pressure zones that allow for forms to take place. And in order for there to be specificity in life forms, there has to be a terrarium-like enclosure. There has to be, just like a baby cannot be formed in a dish, or things are not formed, they're incubated. So we are a spiritual class of entity that is going through a developmental process in spirituality. So we're under a dome that separates us from the waters above and the waters below.
Right.
So we are under a certain type of water, a qualified form of water we call oxygen.
Right.
But it's still hydrogen that has been modified so that we can breathe under a certain pressure. This body we have allows us to breathe under this particular type of pressure, the way a fish is allowed to breathe under that particular type of pressure. So life is formed under certain pressure zones, and ours just so happens to be third density.
Okay.
And in that plane that we're on, that plane is forever. It goes east, west, north, and south. There is no linear. It just exists wherever I guess the intention of the Most High and those who serve the Most High at the highest level decide where life will be on that flatted plane. So when the time comes for me to explain it in the book, there will be pictures to show how the consciousness, the human consciousness, calibrates and brings everything together within this avatar to actually construct the planes necessary for us to exist on. And then we build it out from there. There are certain measures, like the architect would set down certain foundations, and then we would come in as workers and then build that out. And that's what we are doing right now. Our consciousness is the Most High's consciousness seeking relevance within itself to know itself.
Right.
Because the Most High is all. And if you're all in all, how do you know yourself? You don't know yourself. You contract upon yourself. That's why the ancient Kemites said that creation is negation. It is not something that creates outside. You cannot create outside of God. God doesn't sit here and then creates over there. Everything is the Most High. Everything is consciousness. So in order for consciousness to know itself, it retracts within itself. And they say that we are the dream of the Creator. The Creator is asleep right now, and we are the dream of the Creator. And that's what they call in the ancient Hindu, they call it the age of Brahma, or the night of Brahma and the day of Brahma.
Right.
So we are fulfilling whatever the map of consciousness allows us to fulfill, because after we transcend, we don't know, we may be in another bubble, going to another area, because there are places outside of the bubble, the dome that we're under.
Other lands.
Yes, there are other lands. And Perry and the rest of these people who went up to the Antarctic said that. That's why they don't want us up there.
Oh my God, you got to come back. We have to discuss. So sorry. Thank you so much for that amazing answer. Thank you.
Baba can go into that deeper.
I love it.
Deeper and deeper and deeper.
Yes, because it's deep.
It is deep. It is deep. And on that note, because of what he just said, especially about, her and I was speaking behind the scenes about the distraction that they with these multitudes of different genders, Bob. You know what I'm saying? There's multitude. And like I said, the subject today, family, if you're just tuning in, we got Baba Phil Valentine in the building. And the topic is being a man and a woman is an experience, not a job description. This, of course, this particular book, Baba, is a monumental of the Wounded Womb, although it's the fourth book.
Yeah.
But this was the first one you actually put out in this capacity.
Indeed.
And 4 is the number of foundation.
Yes.
So this to me is the foundation book. You know what I'm saying? That's why I tell people about the book of Numbers. That's the fourth book. The Numbers, the book of Numbers is the foundation of that whole scripture. So tell the audience, why is it important for us to understand man and woman's experience here in this realm? And why has it been compelled to be called like a job description now for our lives? And men got to do this, and men got to do that, and women got to do this, and women got to do that. What is that all about? Because in your book, you get into a lot of details about things. Please.
There are a lot of things that I could explain, but because there's so much in the book, I have to kind of cherry pick to actually give you just enough for you to understand. By the way, when you want to purchase it, you go to lulu.com. LULU.com.
You can date through your website too, right? Your website.
Yes, go to my website and just click out.
I got the website on there scrolling. Yes,
store.
I got the
just look up store, and you can actually get my wife's other book, my wife's first book, from there as well. But this was a premeditated attack against the United States of America. Most people don't see it like that, but what you have to do is you have to raise up above the fray to see the entire picture. You can't be down inside of the melee because it's too much confusion. You have to come up and you have to look while you're up here. You have to look at who's the puppet master that is actually orchestrating this contradiction to nature. And what we find is that when feminism came into play, it was necessary for the destruction not only of blacks, because the blacks, we were too cohesive, and that became a threat to those who ran the commercial and political infrastructure of the United States of America as a corporation. Dr. I guess his name, Dr. Martin Luther King, was duped into participating in what turned out to be a socialist experiment that we call the Civil Rights Movement. It wasn't that, actually. It was for our own benefit that he went forward the same way that Malcolm did. But those who control the media, those who control the behind the scenes in politics, were orchestrating us to leave our independence and the fact that we had grown an independent structure of commerce, of business, of banking. That was a threat because we were so polished after all the years of entrapment and what they call slavery. We became proficient at what we knew how to run a society because we had to run the society behind the scenes. And so we grew and became very good at what we did. We had a baseball team that used to kick the crap out of the Yankees. We had we were the first ones to put on what became the what is that with all the fancy Ziegfeld Follies. We were the first ones to put on stage shows. We gave them jazz, we gave them gospel, everything. The entire. I mean, the people would rush to see Satchel Paige actually pitch. They rushed to see Josh Gibson hit the ball. He had over 800 home runs, more than Babe Ruth, and Babe Ruth was part black, and most people don't know that.
Wow.
Like J. Edgar Hoover.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, J. Edgar Hoover.
I got the book on it. His black side. I got the book on that.
Yeah,
Wow.
his aunt was
Yes.
black.
Mm-hmm.
So you know where he was coming from. He was that light, bright, and damn near white.
Yes.
But as what we were looking at and what became who we are today after World War II, part of that was to destroy the infrastructure of the United States. Those who were in what we call the deep state had destroyed Russia because they had destroyed the royalty and the Romanovs. They killed off the Romanovs, and they killed off the autonomy of Russia and took over Russia and created what we call communism. But that royalty that was destroyed was actually the Vatican. The Vatican created communism. The Vatican created socialism because they were running a communist base down in South America that they call the reductions, they call them. And the black ships with the black sails, those are the ones that were building these reductions by conquering the people, the native people, having them work for them, and then putting them up in what became known as projects. So everything that you see happening within the infrastructure at this time was actually controlled by the Vatican and was structured through what they call the Hebrew or the Jews or the Ashkenazim who were in Spain at that time. So they used to work for the Vatican, and so it's a web. It's very well worked in, and the Vatican hated the fact that we, the first 13 black colonies, were breaking away from the black nobility in England. They hated that, and so they said they had to destroy the United States, and they began the plot after so-called the so-called Revolutionary War, which essentially was fought by the king, who actually owned France. He was the king of France and the king of England at the same time. So when France came in to help us, they were actually playing us both off against the middle. So what happened after the Revolutionary War was actually won. It wasn't really won. What King George did was to turn the people of the United States and the colonies into what is known as constitutors. A constitutor is one who assumes the debt of another. The United States was actually a corporation run by the king that was in default. And so we picked up the tab. So now, after everything was said and done, we had no. You notice that every time we come in, the United States we have a war. It's like a war every 5 or 10 years. We had war. Well, the United States was structured for just that purpose, to be the brunt end of the spear for the deep state coming out of the Vatican. So what they had to do now, because we were so autonomous and independent, they had to destroy us, not by attacking us outright, because they know they would have lost. They had to destroy us from within. And so the Jesuit adopted Sun Tzu's book, The Art of War, as part of their protocols.
Whoa.
Oh, see, people don't know that.
Whoa. But wait a minute. But didn't Sun Tzu trained right here in America, or was it Ho Chi Minh? Ho Chi Minh was here.
Ho Chi Minh and Mao trained under the Jesuits.
Okay.
They trained under the Jesuits, and so everything you're seeing about communism ain't nothing. It wasn't no Asian communism. They were all dealing from a royalty base. They were dealing from kings and queens, emperors.
Yep.
There was no communism. Mao was a student of the Jesuits. And it was necessary for him to kill off, just like when they started the war in Vietnam. The war in Vietnam was to destroy the hold of the Buddhists in the northern part of Vietnam. So what did they do? Cardinal Spellman here in New York sent thousands of Christians up into the Buddhist lands and started friction there in order for them to get the oil and the drugs that came out of that part of the world and have a foothold against China and Russia. That's what the Vietnam War was about. So here we have now the United States a threat to the world because we think for ourselves. We got this thing called the Constitution, the de jure Constitution, not the two constitutions that are operating today. These two constitutions are phony constitutions set up by the deep state. The one that's coming out of Washington, D.C., the District of Criminals, and the other one that's coming out of Washington State. One was run by the Queen, which is the territorial constitution. And then there's another constitution coming out of D.C., District Constitution. The de jure Constitution was put to sleep. Now, I'm giving you all this backdrop so that you can understand what softened us up for feminism. Feminism now was about the transfer of power. Power is a masculine principle. And that's what has to be understood. Power and love are the working dynamics of masculine and feminine. The love energy, which is the nurturing energy, was in the female's hands. That had to change. She was under the authority of the masculine. And when that happened, you had a stable, strong community that was an enemy to the government of the United States. So those who had to infiltrate into the society had to destroy the first part of the strength of the community, and that's the family. But how do you do that? How do you create the distrust? Well, you come in with feminism, since feminism already had a sympathy, what we call surrogate, suffragette feminism. When that came in, it had all of the, oh yes, definitely, pay these women equally because they worked hard. Yes. And everybody was on it. That's right. And let's get away from the alcohol drinking and stuff. These women were out there doing the righteous thing. So everybody supported suffragette feminism. What changed was the word suffragette. It became gender feminism. And I showed in the book how the transition took place. The transition took place by them recruiting a CIA operative out of college by the name of Gloria Steinem.
Oh,
she worked for the CIA. In fact, the CIA were the ones who funded her magazine, Ms. So the CIA now running with Rockefeller, because Rockefeller now stepped in and said, you know what, we need more taxpayers. We need more because we're getting ready for more wars. So what do we need to do? Well, we need to get the women out the damn houses. We need to put them in the workplace so we can get more taxes. So now what they had to do was to psychologically work at what would actually initiate a complete social makeover of the mindset. So what they did, they went back into the Roman archives. And what were the Roman archives? The Roman archives were that every time the Roman Empire would conquer a specific land, it would send all their young men as occupying armies and then raise the women to become the same status as socially as the men. So now the women had this kind of power that was like a drug. They could do things that they were free to do, to blah, blah, blah. But they forgot that when you take the woman out of her throne, and this is what is in the back end right here of my book, when I asked women to come back to the throne. When I asked the woman at the end, final summary. Let me see if I could find that for you. In the epilogue. I'd like to read the epilogue to you.
Go ahead, Bubba. Go ahead, do your thing. We have Phil Valentine here, family. Y'all show them likes and put up there. And, of course, support his websites and all of that. His numbers is scrolling through, his email, his PayPal. Show him some love, of course. Go ahead, Bubba.
This is the epilogue to my book.
Yes, sir.
Where I reach out to the sisters. It is my sincerest hope that the seeker overstands that these few pages could not possibly encompass all there is to know about the saga of the wounded womb. My intent was not to dictate absolutes or to presume to have the final word on any of the subjects discussed herein. In fact, I declare this book to be unfinished and consider it only a beginning, an embryonic idea taking shape in the womb of a new consciousness paradigm. And I challenge the seekers, visionaries, adepts, and free thinkers amongst you to nurture its potential to a wholesome conclusion. Remember always that the quest for light is an ongoing journey. Throughout time, many words will be read and written, yet much will be left unsaid. It is up to you, the seeker, to add your own unique chapters to the eternal book of life. While in your travels, do whatever you can to plant seeds of wisdom in the soil of an open mind, so that the fruits of your efforts will nourish those who follow upon the path. And make no concessions with the truth once you have harvested it. Search and research, quest and request, ply and reply. Never tire in your resolve. If in your seeking you have found me wrong, by all means tell me so, that I may adjust my sights and thus my direction. If in your seeking you have found me right, then by God, have the guts to say so as well. We will never resurrect and ascend as entities of higher consciousness unless we are willing to cut through the bullshit. Above all, be ever vigilant, yet open to the many ways that truth may present itself, for it is sometimes difficult to recognize and never what you expect it to be. No matter how strange, incredible, or unbelievable truth appears to be at first sight, do not allow your doubts or prejudices to cripple your ability to discern. Be ever the seeker and free thinker, but remember always that Western thought has infected us with the disease of presumption. Our reality is orchestrated and manipulated, has been since childhood. Those who would keep us ignorant educates us. Education gives us the presumption of certainty, which leads to a false sense of assurance derived from a consumption of facts we believe to be the truth. But always remember, beloved, that the presumption of knowledge is the lock of a closed mind. It becomes rusted shut with its own certainty and entombs the inquiring light within. Resurrect then, beloved sister. Break the lock and free your divine light. Return to your throne and reclaim the sacred heritage that is your triple black mother goddess head. Nis ek sitin remet neferkem. My beautiful black queen, please, is what it says. Return to your quintessential self. Shemem Hotep.
Baba. Woo, man. But Kerry, go ahead. Kerry-Ann, go ahead. Ask the question. Go ahead.
Powerful. No, there's,
Go ahead.
it is a call to indeed come home. And it's put in such a beautiful way. It's not abrasive. It's just love. That should be like on postcards, like something, just so that we can have it around to see and remember. It's so beautiful. Thank you for writing that and sharing that with us. Thank you.
And you see how what she just said so eloquently herself. Why is it, Baba, that beautiful women of deeper understanding and knowledge like herself get it, but some of our sisters don't get it, especially in the entertainment world and in the conscious. Some of us in the conscious world would say you're a woman hater. Back in the day, they used to call you all kind of words.
Yeah.
But you've been with your wife, this beloved one, after your second. You've been with this one how long now? How long you been with?
This is going on 20 years.
20 years. Get that around applause. Some of us can't last 20 minutes or 20 days.
Yeah,
this new generation. That's why I love what Shahrazad. I spoke to Sister Shahrazad the other day.
My sister.
So she said, y'all like to call us old school. We're the school that work. That's what she said. We're the school that work. And
She's right.
she married twice, and both of her husbands died on her. They left.
Yes.
The only way they left this world was they transitioned.
Yes,
So
definitely.
she's been with them.
Yeah, she's been with them. She was the stalwart, the rock that they actually broke themselves on. She was their rock.
And she will tell you that she had no problems working with submitting to her husbands.
Yeah.
They were her security.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that and people keep on forgetting that submission that became a bad S word, sound like shit. But submission is really man and woman submitting to each other in their own way.
Their own capacity.
In their own capacity.
That's exactly what the book is talking about. Yeah, you remember when the black feminists came at me so strong.
Yes, I remember.
And I had to defend myself many times because they thought I was a woman hater. And I love the guilting when they start telling, the shaming tactics. Who hurt you, Dr. Valentine? What do you mean, who hurt me? He says, you seem to be so this and so that. And, oh, you seem to be so. No. Listen, I speak with passion.
Yes.
I speak with a passion that is based in a kind of love, a tough love.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's a tough love because I spoke gently and you didn't hear it. I even shouted or raised my voice a little bit. You didn't understand. So I just had to go full ballistic with all the cussing words and everything to show it. And all of a sudden, I got everybody's attention. And so they say, well, you can't, how you going to speak this and speak that? Well, listen, I can go to Harvard and I can blow their minds with the English language. I can speak to Harvard and smooth and talk through my nose and pull my nose up on my forehead and talk that. And then I can come down and talk to my peeps.
That's right.
Where it's comfortable,
That's right. That's right.
As it stands, the way I see the world, I have to craft it and when you're dealing with natural healing, and my forte is dealing with the metaphysics of healing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All is mind.
Yes.
And because all is mind, that's where the root of any health and any type of disease would be. It would be in the mind first. So I have to understand, the first thing I had to learn was the language of cause versus the, what would I call it? The lexicon of effects. Because essentially the entire world we're looking at is nothing more than effects. It's an effect. Everything is an effect. Some are effects that we can see, touch, and taste, and then some are special effects. That's where I got to get busy at, because those who rule us deal from special effects. Just like they do in the movies, they do with words. So when I was in Catholic school in 8th grade, they took they wanted to see which high school I would go to. Came to find out the test I took, thanks to my mother and my father forcing me to read 2 pages of the dictionary every night and to speak to them about the meaning of the dictionary and what words I meant, and was forcing me. And I hated it, then I loved it. I got to fall in love with words. And then when I took the test in St. Gregory's down there on St. John's and I forgot the cross street there on St. John's Place in
Brooklyn.
In Brooklyn, yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, across from the House of Hills funeral home. That's where I went to school. When I took the test there in 8th grade, it came back and I was actually doing 11th and 12th grade English.
Wow. Caribbean
and that
parentage.
was thanks to my mother's and my father's, every time I would come in from playing, talking that street, and she'd be at the kitchen at the stove, and then she would say, "Oh, done," and she'd start correcting my English, and I could never get everything out to tell her.
my mother too. My mother did the same thing.
Yes,
my
and
God.
so she had to, but then I knew what I was being moved for to do. Yes. So if I had the ability to be able to learn metaphysics, study it, read copious amounts of books on it, and then crunch the data so that it's easy. Older man came to one of my classes when I was young, and I was first there in Afua's place with Heal Thyself.
Yes.
And he at one of the end of my metaphysics courses, he came up to me and says, "You have very powerful stuff that you're teaching." He said, "But you're talking to yourself." And I said, "Whoa, what do you mean I'm talking to myself?" And he's an elder, so you have to respect it.
Right.
He says, "Learn to actually turn what you know into pablum, because people are childlike who come to you. They have a childlike brain, especially with what you're introducing. So whatever it is you do, you have to couch whatever you know of the intricacies of what you teach. You have to make it simple by making examples so that you could show and correlate everything." And that's when I began to learn how to teach metaphysics, because there was no language, there were no words that were being used to talk about cause, only words that described effects.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a difference between describing something and defining it. When you're dealing with metaphysics, you are defining reality because you're doing it from the invisible realm. There are no languages to say what the invisible realm is. You have to kind of code around it to get people to kind of abstractly see what it is you see in the darkness. So my school, University of Commission Sciences, we teach the science of thought and the higher principles of cause, and how to know what it is that is behind everything that you see, and that is health as well as disease.
Mm.
Very good. That's my wife's first book, 7 Steps to Healing and Wellness.
Okay. Everything is, as you said, starts on the metaphysical, and that's where we're attacked. And King Simon asked you a question about like why they
yes,
activists.
I drift.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
Thank you. No,
Yes.
Thank you very much, Kerry. Thank you.
Thank you for bringing me back to square one.
It was needed. Where you went, where you veered, that's where Spirit wanted you to go. So yeah.
So what happened now is they began a politicization, if there's a word such as that, coining a phrase of the dynamics between man and woman. And the primary authority now had to be undermined. So the trust factor had to be changed. So there was a women's meeting, a women's conference in Beijing, China in 1995. Yes. And what came out of that, it's also in my book. What came out of that was in 1995, what came out of that particular meeting was a resolution to destroy everything that had to do with the description of gender. So words like man, woman, uncle, aunt, father, mother, all of these had to be removed from the social lexicon.
Mm.
And what do we see today?
Mm-hmm. Birthing people,
breastfeeders, and all of these are to completely disrupt the consciousness paradigm that was then formulated by words. And I do have in my book, I don't know if I still have it up. No, I don't. I don't think I have it up. But in my book, I have a section in Cosmic Codex just based on what words are and how they are manipulated and twisted in order to change minds. And so agents or agent provocateurs were created. One of them, the biggest in the Black community, being Oprah Winfrey.
Speak on it.
Hold on, Bubba, hold on. Before you do that,
yes,
I have a beloved guest that I wanted to surprise you with. Your beloved son in the building. And I'm glad you went to entertainment. Amen, Bam. That's Kerry-Ann, Sister Kerry-Ann. That's his son. Amen.
This is my son.
I'm glad you started going into entertainment because he's well into the entertainment family, y'all.
Right. In whom I am well pleased.
Yeah,
definitely. My son.
But go ahead, Baba. Before I bring
if I didn't do anything right, I did it right. I did my children. My children were the best things that happened to me.
Yes,
The best things that I can be proud of.
Oh, let's get that a round of applause. Yes. Bam is in the building. Us.
So I don't forgot where I was now. You know,
We're talking about Oprah.
Threw my love chakra out. You know, put my love chakra in front of me now. I'm blinded out.
Oh, that is the cutest.
We were talking about how Oprah Winfrey came on the scene.
Yes.
And what happened was she was actually recruited. She was actually nothing more than a weather. She just spoke the weather every now and then in Chicago, and Chicago had these riots, and they were actually shooting at and stoning and fighting back any white reporter that would go into where they was having these real mess ups in Chicago. So the radio station said, "Listen, Oprah's black. Let's get her to go in." So she went in to a place that was essentially a war zone during the Chicago riots. That was her ticket in, because now black communities saw her as someone they could trust. Okay, because she allowed them to tell their story on TV. Now the feminists approached her, okay, and told her that we'll build you up, give you whatever resources, and you got to look at them as the mafia. We could say the K mafia, we call them. And they're from the East. And we could talk about that maybe on another time, but I call them the K mafia. This K mafia approached her just like they approached Steven Spielberg and threatened him to direct a movie called The Color Purple. They told him that these feminists said that they would boycott every movie he made if he didn't do The Color Purple.
Wow.
That was Oprah Winfrey's inroads to susceptible young girls, because at that time they were seeding the ground. Every movie that came out, every song that was sung was, I'm the woman, I'm the backbone, I'm this, and all of this now was to psychologically embrace or cause the embracing of women to distrust the primary authority. In The Art of War, Sun Tzu said, to destroy a greater enemy, a more powerful enemy, you must do so from within. You must undermine the trust that the public has in the primary authority. The primary authority is the man. The primary authority had to be dismantled. So all through the late 80s into the 90s, there was this intense attack against masculinity. And if you look at one of the shows, and I believe it was Sally Jesse Raphael, they had this woman on by the name of Cher, and she was asked, "Do you think that we need men?" And she just said, "For what? What?" And then all the women, yeah, and of course all the men are sitting there like, "What?" So that women began to think now, with all the money that was given by the government to incentivize female power. They were given monies to start businesses. The white woman with what did they call that? With that when they dealt with the civil rights movement, and what was that they had given to black people again? There was baby girl, you remember we supposed to? It was supposed to be incentivized. Was supposed to be black people were supposed to be given not reparations. It was well, by the way, anyway, there was a program. It'll come to me. There was a program that was set aside for black people to get to a higher place on the mountain, and they just took it.
2 Mules
No.
40 acres?
No. Must be my 70th age. But anyway, that particular thing that was set aside for Black people ended up benefiting white women. Nobody, they keep talking about that Black people, maybe somebody in the audience.
What are you talking about? Not voting.
No, not voting.
No, I know what you're talking about. I remember you talking about this years ago.
Yeah.
Affirmative action?
Affirmative action.
There it is.
My brother Michael. Thank you, beloved.
Thank you, Michael.
I said it at the same time as you. Affirmative action.
Affirmative action. Go ahead.
Affirmative action. There it is.
Affirmative
Thanks,
action.
Mike.
Go back and look at the history of that, which is supposed to have put us on a higher level, on the mountaintop and so forth, or at least get up there. Affirmative action ended up benefiting white women, rich white women. So that's where they went. They had rich white women, rich Black women like Audre Lorde and Shirley Chisholm. Remember Shirley Chisholm, the first Black woman to run for presidency? She was my babysitter.
What?
Really?
What?
Yes.
Jesus Christ. Where's she from? She was from Guyana, right? She's from Guyana, right?
Yes, she lived down the block from where we lived on Sterling Place.
She was in Brooklyn? I didn't know she
lived in Brooklyn on Sterling Place, and we had to go up there to her house after school before my mother got back from work. And she had these couches that was everything was covered in plastic.
All Caribbean household got plastic. Right?
So we had to crunch every time we sat down. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, and in the summertime they burnt your
Oh
bum.
my God! Don't even talk about the summertime.
We had plastic couches in Jamaica, sir.
Yes, so you know
yes, we did.
Everything. The table had plastic. The lamps had plastic.
Yes. And
so let's not digress on plastic.
trauma.
So all of this actually started happening where the feminists began rising in there, and then the feminists now began changing school curricula. The feminists began taking over everything politically, economically, educationally, everything. So what I said, if you remember, what got them mad and got the homosexuals mad was that I said, watch what happens when the feminists get power. And this was through like the 90s. The next thing they're going to do is raise the homosexuals in political power. And then when I got to the homosexuals, I said, watch, the pedophiles are going to now ask for autonomy and rights. And that's exactly what happened in sequence as I said it 10, 15, 20 years ago. And so now, because women have been fed this Kool-Aid, I don't call it Kool-Aid because ain't nothing cool about it, they were actually sold a bill of goods that they could leave their most fertile times between the age of 18 and 25 and chase something called a career. They can now do what men do. They are equal to men. They are independent of men. They don't need to deal with men. They bought into that, not realizing that the ages that they had set aside for them to chase a career, by the way, if you look at the etymology of the word career, it means combat. So they began to go into combat where males actually tread. So now women mature faster than men, but then they depreciate faster too. If you were to get a young girl comes with value. Her 18 years of age, if she's pristine, a virgin, stays fit and is beautiful, between the ages of 18 and 22, 23, she can demand anything. Her beauty and her chastity is her currency. The feminists said, we have to destroy that because that's what men look for in marrying material. If you look at some of these white folks, when they're in college, they already got rings on their fingers. But they had to make sure that that was broken. They had to break that thing. It was in the 1950s, they instituted something in a protocol where a whole new creature was created. Between the 50s and the 60s, a creature called a teenager was created. There was no such thing as teenagers back in the day.
Wow.
They created this particular swath of the society so that they could invest a whole other mindset into very, very impressionable children at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when they went back into the bayou, snatched up our black music called the blues, and watched what Twyla Tharp and Bo Diddley and all of them, because all the little white kids would run across the railroad tracks to get down with the blacks. And they said, well, this race music seems to be something that the white kids love. So let's just go ahead and yoke that. And that's where you get all these rockers, these white rockers. All of them are rip-off artists from the blues. There's nothing that these whites created. They didn't even create the so-called classical music. Those are the Moors. So here we are now. Here we are. The women have been convinced, the whole generation have been convinced that they're equal to men. They're not thinking of the fact that they haven't actually contributed anything to the society, because everything they're doing is imitating what men do.
And that makes it
They want to play basketball. Well, I've seen Michael Jordan. Why do I want to sit there watching you trying to shoot a basketball and hardly even making it to the rim? Now they want to play football, but this is not football. This is actually eye candy for men, because what you see the women playing in is thongs. They're playing football in thongs.
Yep.
So women do not create, they imitate. Women do not create, they imitate. They incubate to create. And the place where they actually belong, their power, is in nurturing the next generation, is in bringing forth life. That had to be stopped, because we have to kill off 2 billion people. So, abortion. In 1972 to now, black women have killed off over 18 million black children. They talk about black women being the best, the most prodigious serial killers on the planet.
It's sad, but so true.
Sad, true. Why? You had to get the fathers out of there. And now they found out. Here's what they found out. Here's the deep part. They found out. They did a study of over 15 or 17,000 people. And they found out these people were single parent families. They studied single parent families run by women. And then they studied single parent families run by men. And then they did the dual parent families with the mother and the father. Over the 12 years of something like 10 to 12 years, 11 years of the study, they found out that single parents who are fathers raise children in the same light and positive light as two parents. Single parent fathers raise more positive children than single parent mothers. Why do you think they put the money in the hands of the single mothers?
So why is that though? Why?
Because they know you can't handle that.
No, why do single parent male raise better?
Because we have a more authoritarian and structured way we look at. We don't run from emotions. We don't care what you feel like. If it's right, it's right. If it's wrong, we're going to tell you that and slap you upside the head. Mamas used to do that because that's what fathers showed them what to do. Mamas were the ones that actually kept the law that fathers broke down, that fathers set down. Mamas ran the kitchen. You couldn't go in the kitchen after a certain period of time. That's death.
That's the truth.
And if you were bad, wait till your father gets home.
Wait till your father gets home.
Wait till your papa come on. Wait till your papa.
Wait till Pop gets home.
Yeah.
And you're over there sneaking around, Yeah. No. Well, the authority is going out of the house. Mm-hmm. Now, these are all studies, and you can't mess with the studies. Look at this. I had notes here for the thing. It says here, a biological male has been named Woman of the Year on several magazines.
No.
Wait, I just want y'all to marinate with that.
And let me hold on one second, Bob. And that's why I have your son here, because your son is in that business, in that world, that entertainment world right now. Come here, Amen. Unmute your phone, Amen, because you unmute your phone, sir. Because I know you love father.
When Dad speaks, I
know, but I don't want to just have you up here as eye candy for the women.
No.
I'm just having you up here for eye candy.
It's in the genes, baby.
No. I was just having a conversation about it, and I when I listen to my pops talk, I hone in. I just listen. But when you told me to come in, I was like, with Dad. Okay. Anybody else? I'm good.
You probably
coming with pops. Yeah.
You have grown up with him, so you have soaked up a lot of the knowledge yourself.
Well, what happened was in the household, it was a warm feeling. I tell everybody this, when the father is home, you can tell the difference when he's in the house and when he's not in the house. So what happens is there's a warm feeling that comes over the child when Dad is home, as opposed to when Dad is at work. That's why when most of the mischief happens in the house, as you said, Queen, wait till your father gets home. It's just the thought of Dad coming home is what makes you realize to straighten up and fly right. So what happens is, that being taken out of the home, the child becomes the father. And then what happens is the child becomes the woman's husband indirectly. And then she treats him less like the child and more like the husband she wanted. And she creates him in her image and how she sees what she wants to be. So a lot of times I was into my mischief as a child, as anybody else in Brooklyn would be. But the thought of knowing that my father's voice put me straight, not even him having to be there, or just people in the neighborhood saying, I'm going to tell your father.
Right.
And it's the feeling of that is like my mom she held all the nurturing and she had her moments of discipline as well. But the thing is, what Dad is saying, what's missing from the household, how things are reverted to single parent fathers, single parent mothers, is because after a certain age, you'll start to feel like you can get over on your mom a little faster than you can get over on your dad. Yeah. So depending on how the situation feels, when you start to get in your own as a man, it should be like around 13 or no, I say 16 for a man, maybe 13 for a young sister, to where you start to feel yourself and know what you can or can't do, or explore in different ways what you should or shouldn't do. So I learned early. My dad will always tell people he does this thing where he knocks on my head, and to this day he does this knuckle thing where it's one finger, and I wasn't really spanked, and if I wasn't listening, he'd knock right here in the front of my head, and just thinking about it annoys my soul. So to where it was like it was a discipline.
Bam, you know what's so funny? Dr. Moses Powell, may he rest in peace. I heard a story about him. Somebody picked him up and moved him, a big dude in the wrestling world, or some guy that was big as a wrestler. And Dr. Powell said, "What? Did he just move me? He used this. He did this right to his forehead and knocked him straight up."
I have like it's right here in the middle of my forehead.
Right there,
Not going too
the
far, just to confirm what Dad was been
Right.
saying.
You're just
And
trying
you
to
know,
wake
So
up your God center. Is like, wake up, wake up.
no, he was. I didn't know what he was doing at the time. I just know it was like the bane of my existence.
Yeah.
That one knuckle, and I got it. I seriously got. You didn't have to give it to me once or twice, but as it appears, King Simon says in the entertainment business, what happens is how the discord is happening because everything is visual now, and the entertainment industry more than ever runs the industry. That's why they go to these celebrities to try and dictate policy, to try and dictate household, to try and dictate what goes on through marriages and divorce. They use the celebrities to kind of push it forward. So in the entertainment business, the fight between us is because as the masculine and the feminine principle, as the masculine, we are what we do. We're doers. That's what my pops told me. The feminine principle, you are. It's nothing you can really describe. It is. She just is. How do you describe it? It just I am. You know what I mean? So as it pertains into the entertainment business, now that it's a visual based business that we can have these kind of conversations visually, we visually use this to dictate how people feel. So what happens is visually you're putting fathers out of the home. Visually you're putting now more than ever the writing for these movies and television. It's no man and woman love anymore. It's no it's how the woman dictates what's going on and how she sets the precedence of what happens. And if a man chooses to speak, we're loaned or we're written in to be the comic relief.
Right.
That's what it is. So I was just watching Toxic Masculinity, which was a saying that was made up by two gay men, which is hilarious how women use that terminology. It was toxic masculinity. It was a term made by two gay men. But either way, I was just trying to watch this movie on Netflix called Old Dads. And it's with Bill Burr, which was one of me and my dad's favorite comedians. And it's a world of how it's being dictated to where we're pushed to the side and thinking that, oh, we're the plus one. The dad is not the head of the household. We're the plus one. We're the as well as. We're the him on the side that just has to nod and be okay with everything is said right now. And then that's becoming policy. And as more you see it on TV, because kids don't listen to radios anymore, they don't go to school anymore. Everything is television. So what King Simon was saying and how it's correlating to how Hollywood is pushing it is it's pushing it visually, because I can just do everything and look on my phone to see everything what my dad was saying. So now when my dad was saying these things from the 80s, he was saying it kind of at the genesis of how they were trying to take it out now. But now he's getting all of these phone calls like, hey, Dr. Valentine, you said this back in 85. And it's like now it's coming to fruition to where you're seeing it. It's right in your face. It's not even subliminal anymore. It's right in your face to where, okay, we're taking the dad out the home and we're making the mom, the dad, and the mom. To where it's the masculine and the feminine is more one thing as opposed to it being two separate entities. And it's getting convoluted and it's blurring the lines to where how we see each other, how I treat my woman is because my mom taught me how to treat a woman. But what you don't understand is how I treat a woman is how my dad taught me how to treat a woman. And it's not how my mom taught me. It wasn't a difference. It's when my dad told me how a man is supposed to treat a woman. Not my mom is teaching me how a woman treats a woman. I would have to learn that from my dad. And what happens is it gets cut off at the pass because dad, you're the only one I call when I need money. You call dad when he has to fix something, but you don't call him for the advice on how to treat your sisters. So now that we're combating with each other and we're talking to each other, trying to interact, but it's getting a little bit messed up in that way. I don't want to say too much, Paul, because I know dad get into
He did a good job. He did a good job. You see where he come from. You see where he come from. Good stop.
Just today, I saw something talking about our men, how we don't have, it was an interview, and they were talking about there isn't a rite of passage anymore to help us, like Black men, merge into manhood. And that that is such a powerful process for both men and women. And when you have a father in the house, you are able to get that pass, that that rite of passage. You're taught, you're brought through the masculine cave, in a sense. You go in the cave to learn how to become this new version of yourself as you evolve. So how do we interject that into in today's society when we can see that they're using, Newspeak? I'm going to use 1984 Newspeak, where they're changing the actual language of how we address each other, and the visual, as you were saying. When we look on TV, when we look on the media, we see masculine wearing dresses, being effeminate, and being very yes, yes, ha, ha, ha. But they're not upholding the fabric and the foundation of the whole household.
Dr. Unmute yourself, Dr. Valentine. Unmute yourself. Mute yourself. Go ahead,
yeah. Well, first of all, I'm very proud.
Great job. Give him a round of applause. That's his website. That's his website.
And this guy has a resume in the business that's at least an arm and a foot long.
Amazing.
This man has been the choreographer. Just to go big up my son. Yes. That I'm going to take my time. Y'all just have to be patient.
Go ahead, do your thing.
My son has done me proud since he was 16 years of age and asked me, "Can I leave the home?" I knew that basically when he had done his, he took the test. When you get a high school equivalency test, when you have to, you don't go to high school, but you take the test, and he was homeschooled, and when he came out of there with just 3 wrongs. He got 2 wrong on the literature and only 1 wrong on the math.
Wow.
So I said, no, I can't let this genius be messed up in further indoctrination. So he asked for permission. He said, I got to leave. He was 16 years of age and much more mature than the ones that were 21 and 22 that was running around him. So he had his little apartment. He went. And before you know it, he had his own business. This man was recruiting dancers for this Jewish person who actually recruited dancers for videos in the music business. And he would take a piece from every one of the dancers, and that's how he made his money.
Wow.
He went up there and he started with that in his 16, 17 years of age. He bought his own clothes, bought his own sneakers, because I taught him how to do his own business, and he saw me doing my own business. So he came from someone who dealt with business, and every time we dealt with and how he structured himself. Before you know it, I had to see him. I had to go to Radio City Music Hall to watch him choreograph Mary J. Blige's show at Radio City, and saw him dance for her. So he danced for Kelly Rowland. He did her choreography on TV. This man did Pepsi Cola. He did. You don't know. You have no clue about how much this man has done for the business, for LJ, for Jay-Z, for all of them. That's who you're looking at right there.
That's right. Hey. And we know him as a child as Bam Bam.
Bam Bam, yes.
Bam!
Bam Bam, yeah, because he tore his crib apart. He tore his crib apart.
That's right.
He didn't like being in the crib.
What do you mean he tore it apart? Like, broke it down?
Well, we thought he was going to nap. So we put him in the crib that I paid $500 for. And the crib was a sturdy oak, what do you call it? And he and his mother went down in the basement and said, some peace. We can be chill. All of a sudden we heard him. We said, what the hell? We went running upstairs. There he was, sitting in the crib with the sticks in his hand. He tore the damn crib apart.
And that's where Bam Bam came from.
Oh my God, that's Bam Bam. So I said we have to take this boy and put him into martial arts, and that's when we went to Professor Moses Powell school, and he learned his martial arts, and he came out there and excelled, and And so I'm proud of my children. I'm proud of my daughter and her successes, and how she is one of the teachers, one of the most loved teachers in New York at this particular time. So she's doing her thing, and I want to big her up. She's definitely for the children.
Yes, give her a round of applause.
You look back and you say, well, what is it that you're what is it that you've accomplished in your life and so forth. Well, I can look back and say that I did not do anything to the society that would have endangered anybody else's life, that I helped to teach my children to enrich every place that they were, to bring light to wherever they are. His last gig was for a young boy who was the son of the owners of the Texas Rangers, son.
Yeah, for the baseball team, the
Baseball.
Texas Rangers.
The
Yeah, it's
owner
one
of
of the
the Texas
owners'
Rangers
sons.
asked him to get down and be with who? Come on, say it.
Manager, there's
No,
Teddy
no.
Riley.
Teddy Riley, my man.
Who is it you were working with? Come on, man. Who you working with?
Come on, Dad.
Who you working with?
With Teddy
Who
Riley?
you working
Teddy
with, man?
Riley?
Come on, man. Who you working with? Come on,
I'm working with between Teddy Riley, and I've worked with just other things.
I used to.
I was
Yeah,
directing.
that's all you gotta say.
Bam. When I was with X-Men, I used to do security for Teddy Riley on the movie, on the video sets back in the day.
That's what I was saying.
So back to that, when they had that Blackstreet, the song, the movie,
Yes.
back in the day. Yeah, Teddy. His birthday just
Dad,
passed October 8th.
Yeah, he just had a birthday.
Yeah, he just
So
had a birthday.
Dad'll always put me on blast. So back to what he said, because King Simon told me to come here about the entertainment side on how the male and female prospects, and it's getting convoluted. I know how it's getting convoluted. I'm still
and if the case is any you white boys out there, he also choreographed Sting.
Oh, for Sting, yeah.
Okay. Oh wow!
Right. So,
yeah,
that's what you're looking at when you're talking about bad.
So you have a vast array of knowledge because you have seen every aspect of the industry. That's amazing.
So yeah, what happens is now that I'm directing videos and I'm doing TV shows, I'm going from acting and different situations. All aspects of my whole life has been in the entertainment business, and I've watched it evolve. So that's why my brother King Simon asked me to come on here and give a perspective to how it's what we're talking about, and the perspective on how it's affecting us, between what Gabrielle Union was doing and between a lot of people was doing a lot of things, that because I'm still my father's son, so I have a perspective on certain things, and I want to be a little bit more vocal, and I still keep my feet in the sand and in grassroots of what it is. But what happens is I'm not sleeping with the enemy, but I'm rubbing elbows with them. So I'm getting the chance to be a spy on the inside, to see that everything spook on the inside, to see what everything my dad is saying, and to watch it. Because like I said, I sat at the foot of the Dr. Moores, and I sat at the feet of my dad at the Gathering of the Masters, and I got a chance to watch in real time as a child, see everything that he's saying. And the conversation we're having today, it's not a new conversation, but now that it's more out in the open, because it is becoming more visual, and because they don't care about it, they're smacking you in the face with it, and they think that you're so numb to it that it wouldn't matter. So what happens is people pushback is the enemy. My father was considered this quote unquote enemy. That's why I was a little skeptical about getting him on Instagram, because I didn't want to have him a part of that situation, because how his views and things, what was going to happen between male and female, and how it's convoluted on what not the roles were, or what the energy of it was. And I tell people all the time is there's so much of us trying to be each other's equal that we forgot to be each other's balance. You don't have to be a completely 50-50 or 100 to 100 to be a balance of what it is. The balance comes in what it is. So it is the roles of what it is so blurred that it comes off to the children, because this enemy is very patient. So I'm part of Generation X, and they realized that we weren't susceptible to the bullshit. So there's like, okay, I'll be patient. I'll wait. I'll give you 2 generations later. So now I have to worry about my children, his grandchildren, who are 9 and 18. They're at a point right now where they can't tell the difference, and the enemy is coming through kindergarten. It's happening earlier and earlier, to where it's like, okay, this teacher was just online saying, oh, I teach my kids and I put all my kids in a closet, and I put them in a closet, and then whoever says something about the closet, if you say something that you like boys that like girls, or you're straight, you get punished, and if you respect the flag, you get rewarded with candy. And this is happening for our, you saw it, this is happening with our
it's
children.
a melanated woman that is doing this. I was like, what?
Yes,
Yeah,
women are doing this. Women are
yeah.
following this. Yeah.
So the thing is, what I tell my sisters, because I have indirectly become my father, so I mentor a lot of males and females in relationship and life situations, that we are advocating for our own destruction. So when there are people that said the pedophilia that's coming in and all these situations, I was a security guard, and then I was working the front door of a nightclub. I'm not gonna say the name of the nightclub because it's a big nightclub, but they had a night for them.
Right.
Those guys. And what happens is I'm working the front door, but this promoter is such a big promoter that I couldn't say anything morally when I was seeing what I was seeing. And I'm watching grown men bring these young boys in the club, and everybody knows that this boy is a young boy, but the grown man would sit there and say, yeah, he's my new boy, but it's just well known what it is. I'm saying it without saying it. I have to work the front door of watching the grooming of how they're grooming them, and body's just so comfortable with it to where, okay, they're putting boys in dresses and they're putting girls in jeans, and what's getting mixed up is because they grow up thinking this. I was blessed to be raised in the 90s where I can see what came before and then see what happens now. So a lot of the things that my dad and King Simon and you are saying is things that to a lot of people in the audience that seem like it's just happening now. And it's been happening since we were children. So catch up. So I'm just implore everybody to catch up. This is nothing new. Some people will be in the comments and say, yes, I see this, and no, I haven't seen this, but you guys didn't see what was. So my dad is of a certain age, and King Simon and the people that are a certain age is where they're going to always come back because they knew what was, not to what is. And our enemy is only living in the generation of what is now and what will happen in the future. But if we lose to what happened in the past, the future would be a whole blur.
Yeah.
So how it goes to entertainment, it's not even written for man and female to have a role in society of entertainment, which depicts what the world is saying. There's no father and no mother on TV at all. There's no man or woman on TV at all. It's non-binary. Everything that's being written. My brother is in the writer room for a Hollywood movie. But the thing is, he has to be there with a bunch of people that they have to combat. The way we're having a talk like this, they're combating, well, I think the female needs to be stronger. I think the male needs to be a little softer because our audience is going here. Prime example, Disney. Disney is the prime example of defeminizing and feminizing our males. If you watch people like Loki, if you watch all of these shows, it's not meant for us to be who we are. The force is female. Me and my dad talk about this all the time. They say that that's what they're going to push onto us, and it's getting blurred. So that's why I'm only saying that to say that's what King Simon had me here on the entertainment side and how it's going parallel to what dad is saying.
Of course.
It's powerful because that's the tool that they're using.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
But
right.
this is also something here where I was running off with this, say that a biological male has been named the Woman of the Year on several magazines. A biological male has been named the top-ranking female at the White House. A biological male was named the NCAA Swimmer of the Year. A biological male is making big bank being the face of womanhood for Nike, Tampax, and Bud Light. A biological male took home awards for Best Actress at the Golden Globes. Okay? So if you look at the situation, women, and where's the feminists now protecting women? They're gone. You don't see the feminists protecting women anymore because now men are becoming better women. What? And you know who said this? Dr. Neely Fuller.
Yep.
Dr. Neely Fuller spoke about this when
Years
he
ago.
had him at the Gathering of the Masters in Atlanta.
Yep.
He said back then, back in the 80s, he said, watch, they're going to have men in skirts.
Yep. I got his book.
Yep.
Got his books. Yep. And his birthday just passed too also.
Yep. He's going to put black men in skirts.
Wow.
So what they wanted to do, see, and this is no aspersion to women. I saw some of your the women are there are saying that women have had to hold down and all of
Yes.
this type of stuff. Yes, we do know that, but that's not natural. We don't take that away from you, but you are not doing a good job of it.
Mm.
You have to understand, we know that you are in a particular position where you are being forced to be working overtime.
Yeah.
This is not your job, but you've been told that you are independent, and the man that took its place is the government, and they're giving you all the money you need to be comfortable in that new kind of paradigm. They keep paying you.
And we
Remember
keep
what they
getting
did?
sicker and sicker and sicker because we're
Yes.
not meant for that type
You're
of
not
lifestyle.
job, and like, all of the diseases that men suffered and died for are now being suffered by women
Yeah.
because you're overstressed. The ones that on the depression pills,
Yes.
women,
Drinking alcohol.
yes,
Alcohol addicted because they're trying to cope
to
with the life
numb.
outside.
And the women who are dealing with depression is the number one disease of women in the Western Hemisphere.
Mhm.
Number one disease. Why?
Mm.
Because you're overworked. My book, The Wounded Womb, says you are overworked. Your body was not meant for stress. We have this. Look at my son. He can go flex that left arm up and let him see what that looks like when you're dealing with it.
Go ahead and flex it.
I'm just saying, yeah.
Flex
There
them
you
all.
go.
Yo,
Yeah.
we training,
No.
bro. We training.
So,
Training.
so
We
no,
training out here.
listen.
That
So
was meant
I
to do
just,
the work.
We
That was meant
training.
to take the
We
yeah.
training. Look,
so
we training, man. We training. We
We
training
were
out
the
here.
ones
We
that were
training.
meant to take the stress off of you. How
Right.
can
Yes.
you create a healthy baby with the type of stress that you go through? You're not
Exactly.
supposed to be
Mhm.
stressed.
Thank you. Baba, can you please repeat that for the people in the back? Because
Yeah.
they don't get
Repeat
it.
that
They
again.
don't get it. They keep climbing up the ladder and they are struggling and they're suffering and sacrificing family.
Yes, and that's what I said in my book. Your body was not meant. First of all, your lungs are smaller than ours. And because your lungs are smaller than ours, you get colder faster. You don't process heat properly. You ever notice that you can come outside and there's a little bit of breeze that makes us feel pretty good? You start saying, well, I need to get, what do you call it? Cold.
Jacket.
Your skin is
Yeah.
thinner. Your muscles are
So-
thinner. But now if you look in the gym, you got these women going and doing what men do. What but what are you
Well,
kidding? And you see
so
women, when you see a woman with six pack, when you see a woman with a six pack, you're not supposed to see a six pack on a woman. Why?
yeah, I tell that to my
fascia. That's fascia. That's what you're supposed to be able to stretch to have babies.
yeah, I tell a lot of the
Yes.
I tell a lot of the women that I train, because I used to train, that I refuse to work chest and I refuse to work certain parts of the body, where I give them a situation to where, like, even the bottom part of a woman's stomach, how there was always a little bit extra skin, and that's the hardest part to try and get rid of in the gym is the bottom abs. So what happens is I would tell them, and I would give them the metaphor, like, take it as that extra skin is for something. So if you see the weenus part of your elbow, there's extra skin here. If you grab this weenus and you bend it without having that extra skin here, it's tight, so it leaves a lot more room. So you can't bend your elbow without that extra skin. The same situation goes for our sisters when they have babies and things like that.
Yes.
But I gotta head out, but I have to say one last thing. One last thing. I just want the sisters out there to know that every time that we say certain things that doesn't come across as popular opinion, it's not a shot at you. I just need to let y'all realize that femininity is not a weakness.
No.
We love and appreciate you. And when we stop talking is when things go wrong. So between the man and woman, getting to realize that it's not an equality situation and it's not a balance, because the biggest lessons you learn is when you learn when you're wrong. So if you're sitting there trying to be right about everything you do, you'll never grow. My pops always told me, you're not perfect, you're always perfecting. So we're still striving to be perfect versions of ourselves and not trying to go on what the journey is on perfecting. So our sisters out there, this is not a slight to any of you. This is not a slight to what you can or can't do. We love and appreciate you. Take notes for what it is and listen to what we're saying as we listen to what you're saying so we can be better together. I love you all.
Love you. I gotta bring you on. We gotta bring you on. We gotta bring you on.
I love you. I love you. Yes, yes. Love you, Pops. Yeah, hit me later. Love you.
Oh, man, yo, you have raised some children. Man, that's man.
That was my son.
Oh,
Amazing.
See, is how he listens. That's where he listens. And that knock right there,
yeah,
is, see, back here is the reptilian brain. That's where you get stupid.
Yeah.
This is the frontal lobe and the first eye. So I told him that you are on a spiritual path, and sometimes you deviate and take an exit that you don't supposed to. And so whatever you do something dumb, I start to knock on that part of the door that you shut. And he hated that. He hated that. He said sometimes he could still feel it. That's because it was meant to do that. I didn't have to beat him with a strap or nothing like that. I just had to tap on the door that he shut and start to open that bad boy up and come back in where you're supposed to be. You know,
because when you teach them from young men, they'll never depart. That's what the so-called scriptures. I remember my son was in training. One of my sons was in training in the military, and he just said he kept on remembering what I said. Stay focused. Stay focused. Stay focused. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And he got through the training. He got through Paris Island and all that stuff. He got through all of that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, I mean, he chose to go there, and I understand, although I wouldn't choose to go there, but my father was also a Marine, and I have uncles that were Marine and military men. So I understand it's in the blood, to want to be there. But man, this has been a show, Baba Valentine.
Well, this is to tell you that's the truth. Like I said, women are born with their worth. They're born with their worth, their beauty, their chastity, their femininity. Yes. That is the highest price that they have between 18 and 25, 26. Men have to be forged. They have to be challenged. That testosterone is raging even when they're in the crib. It's raging at the same level as an adult. So if you are not taking that boy and knowing exactly that's why it is the woman, the daughter's chastity was basically what we protected until we knew what type of man that they needed to have. They don't have that right now. So what's happening, as you see right now, is that we don't forge men anymore. We don't forge boys into men. In fact, most of you don't know that our men went through a definite ritual of rites of passage, and so did my daughter, Mookie. They both went through a rites of passage ritual, which was necessary for them to understand that they were going across a threshold into a world that was unforgiving, a world that does not take any bullshit from you and will kill you. I remember one day he called me. He was outside the garden, and they got into a fight. It was a big melee, and his boy was getting beaten up, doubling. He said he went around and hit this dude so hard, he called me up in a panic. He said, Dad, I think I might have killed somebody. I said, what happened? And it brought back a memory because I did the same thing when I was young. I hit the dude so hard, it looked like he was out. It was like he was dead. He hit the pavement, boom, like that. And I said, well, wow. I said, okay, take a deep breath. I said, you're all right. I said, the Valentine's got the strength that they don't know until they start to get, what do you call it? So he said, he said, should I go back? I said, no, you don't go back over there. That was a melee. Your boy was getting beaten up. You went to his aid. That was his karma. Okay. So I said, come back. And he said he could, every now and then he would wake up. He said he could feel the impact. It was almost like a phantom feeling of him hitting this dude square on the jaw. So, he and I, my son and I, we developed a relationship that I knew that I couldn't have with my father. I didn't have it. My father was a disciplinarian. He was military. I had to make sure my bed, I had to bounce a quarter off.
Yeah, bounce a quarter on it. That's why I make my bed.
So, yeah, that's where I came up. It was brutal, but it was being forged. But I'll tell you this, just to let you know, family, a lot of people hated this book at the beginning. but a lot of people began to appreciate what was in there. Not to blow any bubbles, but I just want to let you all know that this book is available on Lulu, LULU.com. When you go up to Lulu.com, just in the search box, just put The Wounded Womb, Phillip Valentine, and it will put you right onto the purchase page. Or go up to the short version is there's metaphysics.org, but you could go to UKS
Yes.
NOW down at the bottom of the screen, and it will put you right back in here as well.
Yes, it will.
Homeschool, ismhomeschool.org, where our children are excelling. Our teachers are the top. Even Dr. Love is slated to hold a ancient Chinese class. We have to get him to actually come, because he's been busy doing his qigong classes. So,
yes.
but just want to thank you all today.
Yes.
And hopefully a lot of the sisters don't feel slighted. What are the solutions? There's no solutions I could give you on a show that's only an hour long, family.
That's right.
This is something that we have to sit and talk. That's why the university exists.
That's right.
We do not have a drive-through solution here. We don't do drive-through solutions. We don't do Mickey D solutions. And the young people today want it. Oh yeah, we'll say, okay, where can I go to the line? Okay, they skip over the process that came to create this solution, and then to fall back on the same problems again. Look at all the books that we have online here that our university uses, and the thing is, brothers like King Simon and my sisters like Sister Ingram, you got to get back into understanding that this is a calling. It's not a job.
That's right.
Okay, it's a calling.
Yes.
It is something that you have to do. You have to really love your people, to be able to sacrifice everything to bring this knowledge and to do the knowledge that we're dealing with it. My father told me, when I told him I want to go ahead and have a thing to teach people to eat properly, he said, you want to teach black people how to not to eat? He said, you're gonna go broke within the first year. And I said, no, Pops. Because my pops was pragmatic. He knew I was an artist. I could draw, and paint. Excuse me. And that he wanted me to go into a field where I would be in commercial art. I said, no, that don't feel that. I want to do music, and I want to do other things. So, but anyway, enough of me talking. I thank you for this time to address the family.
Yes.
And this has been a real great show. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you, Baba. Thank you so much, man. Thank you. Really.
This has been great. Thank you, Sister Kerry. You have been, like I said, you've lit up that side. I'm blinded by that side of the thing there. So, brother,
and Baba, she's in Toronto, Canada now. We doing across the border thing in Toronto.
Are you in Toronto?
I am.
Yeah. Wow! I went through Canada, and we went up through all the way up, damn near through Laurentiis Park, and we got stopped by the cops there. And they had us in chains and I got
stopped by the cops there.
Yeah, up there, these white boys.
I'm banned from Canada, sir. So I already
well, they might as well ban me too. You know what I'm saying? Because I was cussing all kinds of languages.
Me and Dr. Khalid got banned from Canada back in the day.
Well, be proud.
I'm in good hands. I know.
Well, it's being run by Fidel Castro's son.
Yes, but. A lot of people don't know that Trudeau is his son. A lot of people
didn't know that, but you understand that Trudeau's wife at the time had an affair with Castro. Oh, you didn't know that. So I see. Okay, most people don't know about it. Yeah. I already talked about that in my other webinar. So there it is.
And it makes sense with what is going on here. When I tell people of the state, what it's been like over the last few years, people don't believe me, because before, Canada was known as the place to be. Everything is liberal, and I'm like, that was the setting up for this time. Everything is long game. They plan, like you said so beautifully. So
well, it's I can tell you, beloved, if you were to put a picture of Fidel Castro as a young man and
Mhm.
and your boy here, Trudeau, together, they're
Yep.
twins.
Mhm.
My goodness.
He don't
My
look
goodness.
nothing like his father. You
Not,
don't look nothing like his father.
not the one they
Like
claim
his,
to be.
like his surrogate father, the one who was supposed to be his father. He don't look
Yeah.
nothing like that white man. No,
Nothing.
nothing.
Somebody said, what? But Baba Phil, thank you very much for coming on, man. Oh man, it was beautiful. This one is for the history books. This one is for the
This is
history
beautiful.
books. You know, your
And I
son-
wanted to say to you about, oh, I'm so sorry, King San.
Go ahead, beautiful. Go ahead, do it.
I was just going to say, we are ready for your message in this time. And the young people too, they're ready. There is a cracking, there is an opening, and there is a yearning for your type of truth and an acceptance now. So,
Oh,
yeah.
thank you so much, beloved. We're moving here. There's nothing but chaos right now because we're moving temporarily to another place.
Yeah.
So when we get ready to settle, we're moving a little further south. And when we get settled in, I'm going to then start really getting into working and completing my book,
Right.
Cosmic Codex, and all the rest of them that you see laid out there. But at this point, things are a little bit too disheveled at the moment. And I have to concentrate on what I want to say. But you got an idea. I just gave a little piece to let everybody know that the book is real, and that I am working on it.
That's right. People that missed that, he showed his next book that's coming out, the Cosmic Codex, and y'all got to rewind this. As a matter of fact, I might just put this on Patreon, and y'all might have to really go and rewind it.
Yeah, go ahead. Do that.
Because this is some good information. Bob, I want to thank you very much again for coming on, man, showing
My
all
pleasure.
the love.
Anytime.
I appreciate you, man, all the
Anytime,
time, man.
brother.
Love you, man. Love you all the time.
Love you
We're
too.
gonna
Love
talk,
you all.
all right? And tell Mama, give Mama a hug. Give Mama a hug for me, please.
I will do that.
All right.
I will do that.
All right, Baba. Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too.
All right. Yeah, man. Woo, man. That was
amazing. It was amazing.
That one was for the history books. Man, girl.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna stay on too long because I've been with the God power, and then I had to do Phil. It's like, well, my energy is all over the place right now.
Wow. And this was so stimulating.
Yes, this was, and we had over 200 people up in here for this live. Thank all of y'all for coming. Please share this. Go to his website. Remember, this Wednesday, myself and this beautiful sister will be on. We don't have no guests this Wednesday, but woo, I just got the pictures from Isaiah the Duke of Tears. He just sent us. So Isaiah will be with us on November the 8th. Give Isaiah the well-deserved round of applause, of course. Let's give him a round of applause. So on the November, huh?
Metaphysics.
Yes, I said. So we're gonna have a hard hitter on Wednesday on our show. I got to big up our show. Our show is Healing Vybez, and he's gonna come from a metaphysics of what's going on around the world and how we can heal and bring some solutions. He's watching also, because I sent this link to brother Isaiah. Big up to Isaiah, the Duke of Tears, of course, all the time. And he'll be on with us this Wednesday, family. This Wednesday, he will be on with us. Isaiah, the Duke of Tears. Tell everybody that Isaiah, the great one, the Duke himself, the Sultan of Florida right now, Florida, he will be on with us. I'll send you the picture and all his links so you can design the flyer for that. All right, Kerry? Yeah, I got you for that, man. But man, she designs these flyers. She designs the Wednesday flyer. You know, I design my own stuff, but she designs the Wednesday stuff. So, Kerry, give Kerry a round of applause for being such a great marketer. And Kerry, thank you for being a guest host for my Sunday show, man.
Thank you for inviting me.
You really contributed a lot, and you were really tapped in, and I love that your energy was very compelling to both Baba Phil Valentine and his son that came on and helped out. It was Aquarius, Libra, and Leo. His son is a Leo, so it's
okay.
so go figure all that air and fire was in the building. We was
right,
yeah. We was complimenting each other like yin and yang. I loved it.
Yes.
But thank you very much, sister. I will see you on the other side. We'll talk after this. You can get off, and then I'll call you after. Okay, we can talk about Isaiah real quick after. All right. If you don't mind, you going to sleep or you going to bed? I don't know what you're doing.
I could do quickly.
I mean, if you want to wait till tomorrow, I'm good. I mean,
no, it's fine. It's fine.
All right, so I'll link Give Kerry-Ann a well-deserved round of applause. Great job. Man, you got to have good people, man. Got to have good people around you in multiple ways and multiple energies, man. And she did a wonderful job. And thank all of you for participating. I know we couldn't get to the questions and all that kind of stuff, but it's all good. Earlier, I broke down the meaning, the mathematical numerology meaning of cat and dog and why people are so connected to it and all that kind of stuff. So y'all want to start this show. Y'all want to start this from the beginning. And remember, those who missed the webinar on Saturday that I did, thanks to all the people that did come up and enjoy the webinar, you can still purchase the recording, 3 hours, really 4 hours, the 3-hour recording of the webinar through Cash App and PayPal. International people do PayPal, Cash App. Y'all, the local people could use Cash App and PayPal, but it's very good. It's called Applied Numerovation, how to apply the numbers, like Dr. B. Serious be talking about the numbers, like Billy Carson talk, how to apply it for yourself. That's what I'm about. Y'all applying it for yourself, because I can drop out tomorrow, but if you learn how to do it for yourself, you can keep on guiding children. Young people was in the live of the workshop, also the webinar. Young people was, the one sister said her daughter was laughing because I bring joy and happiness and laughter, but I break it down as simple as possible because I learned to keep things simple. Keep it simple, keep it moving. That's my mottos. Keep it simple, keep it moving. So make sure y'all go. Y'all won't be able to. Don't go to Linktree. Y'all can just go straight to. You can do a Cash App, PayPal, and if you do Cash App, PayPal, $55 for the 3 to 4 hour link with Q&A at the back. All you have to do is send me your email and I will send you the link. Send me the email and I will send you the link. Send me your email within the Cash App or PayPal description, and I will send you the link to the webinar that I did recently. I broke down the 111, the 222, and the importance of recognizing. You can read all those things online if you want about 111, those angel numbers, but I show you there's another angle because the word angle and angel is the same word. There's another angle to these angel numbers. So we got to understand it. And I broke that down in the last portion of that webinar. Was a powerful webinar. And remember, this coming Wednesday, we're going to be in the building. Please support Kerry-Ann Ingram at her website, certified spiritual energy healer and guide. She also does tarot and everything. And she also works with the tarot. And please hit her up at www.kerryanningram.com. That's www.kerryanningram.com, or hit up via Linktree for her products and all her services. Linktree/Kerry-Ann Ingram. Of course, sponsor of the show, Lloyd Strayhorn, Lloyd-Strayhorn.com. That's one of my teachers. Hit him up, 800-581-4400. Remember, if you're in Brooklyn, New York, on the 11th, 11/11, my brother Red Pill will be in the building from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at Nicholas, Brooklyn. Nicholas, Brooklyn is located at 1396 Fulton Street in Brooklyn, New York. Get him a call for more information. Get your tickets, 718-858-4400. Big up to Nicholas, Brooklyn all the time. Don't forget, if you want to take a historical trip with Baba Ashwa Kwesi, hit him up at 214-371-0206. I had Phil Valentine and Baba Ashwa Kwesi talked on the phone privately, and they was like two young men back in the day doing their thing, talking over the phone, saluting each other, showing each other love. Believe me, they're still friends. The elders are still showing respect to each other while they're still alive. And if you do want to be a part of the sponsorship or advertising during our commercial break and intermission, we're going to start having hard breaks at the bottom of the program or at the end, constantly doing at the end, the bottom, and at the end of the program and the top of the program. Please email us at kerry@kerryanningram.com or ksptvmedia@gmail. Hit us up if you want to advertise. Remember, advertisement doesn't cost, it pays. If you want to get any of my books, please go to Linktree/King Simon the Numerovator. Remember, yesterday's numerology is not today's numerovation as we continue into the future. If you want to take my 2-hour course on Udemy, you can go through Udemy, or you can go through my Linktree/King Simon the Numerovator. If you want to take my 8-hour course, it's $444. But if you take my class that I just took recently and pay for that, you get a $100 discount on this 8-hour course. All right, because I teach a lot. I teach hard. I teach with computers. I teach with chalkboard. I teach with whiteboards. I keep on teaching. And if you do want to book a session with me, please text me your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022. And remember, Accept what is, let go of what was, and have faith in what will be. And like Dr. B. Serious, in regards to your family and yourself, Dr. B. Serious gave us this affirmation: I forgive myself, my family, and others for imperfection, and I am thankful for my life. And I'm going to close out with Dr. Delbert Blair's prayer. Please, universal creator, know in my heart that I love you. Please protect me and this planet in which I live now. Please open my mind, my spirit, and my soul to receive only truth in your love now. Thank you, Dr. Blair. Thank you, all of you. Thank y'all for tuning in. 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 As I like to close with three great people that I have seen and studied in my history. Marcus Mosiah Garvey, he says, regardless of land, label, Marcus Mosiah Garvey used to say, up you mighty nation, you could accomplish what you will, one love, one aim, one destiny. Dr. Khaled said, regardless of land, label, or language, there's but one God. We are all saints, saviors, soldiers, scholars, healers, and killers. And Maya Angelou always used to say, and still we rise. Family, continue to rise to the top. Be your greatest self. Forget all the bull crap. Raise to the higher level. No matter what they're doing out there, you can protect your circle, protect your nation. Be prepared, yes, but always be prepared to keep your vibration high, mentally, physically, and spiritually. That's why I do what I do, and I share what I have to share on Instagram, and that's why I try to keep y'all motivated numerovationally by my system of numbers and using the numbers to help you to activate and maximize your numbers so you can be your greatest self. So family, have a great day, afternoon, and evening. Be safe, be strong, be focused, and stay out of people's business, but stay in your own highest, wisest business. Peace and love.
Content disclaimer. The views, comments, and opinions expressed by guest speakers or authors on this YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this channel's broadcasters and its sponsors. Parental guidance is advised. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teachers, scholarship, education, and research. For fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringed.
History. Say how they condemn us throughout slavery. They say we were black and very ugly. I lie them are telling of them history. Cause black is beautiful, the whole of them agree. Them come out of the mountains and mix up with seed. Here we go, my friends, in the black and white history. Yeah, it's black, black, black. It's white, white, white. But let we tell the story. Yes, it's black, black, black. It's white, white. But let we tell the story. May I go tell you a little truth about the black histories to the people who can hear and those who can see. We're the first to come up with anatomy, to analyze the truth about Phillip body. We're the first to come up with biology, to analyze the lives in the society. We're the first to come up with Egyptology, to construct the pyramids that you see. We're the first to come up with psychology, to analyze the minds in the vicinity. We're the first to come up with musicology, to put the rhythm in your soul and make it rock steady. Correction, my friends, with the black and white history. Yeah, it's black, black, black. It's white, white, white. But let me tell the story. Yes, it's black, black, black. It's white, white, white. But let me tell the story. Black and white story in my mind. Oh yeah, say we are. white history. Say all they condemn us throughout slavery. They say we were black and very ugly. I lie them, I tell enough of them history. Cause black is beautiful, the whole of them agree. They come out of the mountains and mix up the sea. Here we go, my friends, in the black and white history. Yeah, it's black, it's white, but let we tell the story. Yes, it's black, it's white, but let we tell the story. Me, I go tell you a little truth about the black history. It's to the people who can hear and those who can see. We're the first to come up with anatomy, to analyze the truth about the way body. We're the first to come up with biology, to analyze the life in our society. We're the first to come up with Egyptology, to construct the pyramids that you see. We're the first to come up with psychology, to analyze the minds in that vicinity. We're the first to come up with musicology, to put the rhythm in your soul and make it rock steady. Correction, my friends, in the black and white history. Yeah, it's black, it's white, but let we tell the story. Yes, it's black, it's white, but let we tell the story. Black and white story in my mind.